It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. They come out here in the eye. They run with a rookie. Here's Elliott. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Second down following the run.
Hey, we got three. Three down. Yellow 80. Lights 59.
They go to Elliott again. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4.
Under 180. Hey, check. 50.
From the gun on 3rd down, Romo. Penalty marker is down here. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Roughing the pass here, but Charles, that's a good call. But these days, you know, quarterbacks, they're very protective.
We know how protected they are, and if it's anything borderline, they're going to get the call. But as a defender, that's hard to swallow sometimes because there's so many of these bang-bang plays.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Nice.
On first down, Romo. Out left side here to Bryant. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Let's go. Three down.
On 2nd down, Elliott. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Watch left. Stop right there.
The Bears have put an extra defender in the secondary on 3rd down.
Yep, they're in the nickel. Throwing on 3rd down, Romo, complete to Jason Witten. And he's brought down after a good gain. They were ready for what the defense was showing. They had prepared for that look, recognized it, went straight to the air, got the first. Well done.
Love the recognition because you can prepare for everything. You can watch the tape and put together your game plan, but you still have to understand what they're doing in terms of what they're showing and be able to adjust accordingly, and they did exactly that.
And now a first down following that long gain.
Get ready.
They'll pitch it out to Elliott. And some room to roam now. And he's going to take this down to about the 17. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here.
Here we go. Brad 38. Brad 38.
Now the 5th-year man, this is Lance Dunbar. And he cuts right sideline and some room to go. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Lance Dunbar, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead. Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he will take a knee here. So per the new rules in 2016, this will be brought out to the 25-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Jeremy Langford. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Ah, yes, that's today's NFL defensive tackle. Not just a space eater anymore. A guy with agility, movement skills, who can rush the passer and make plays in the offensive backfield.
Now Cutler to throw on 2nd down. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete. We see this offense, and we see Jeremy Langford, certainly a guy to watch in this game.
He plays a game with great determination, Brandon. In college, he played multiple positions before settling in at running back. He made the right choice.
And the offense looks to pick up the first here on 3rd after that incompletion. On 3rd down, Cutler. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. Now Pat O'Donnell, the 3rd-year man from Miami, to kick it away. Lucky Whitehead back deep for Dallas. Fielded at the 20. It looked like he might beat that last man. He doesn't, though, but it goes as a 32-yard return. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. And the defense definitely showing blitz here. A first down carry by Elliott. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And here are the Chicago defensive starters.
Terrence Knighton's nickname, Pot Roast, was given to him, and he didn't like it at first. Now he says, don't call me Terrence. Holds down the middle against anyone trying to run the football.
Again, it's Elliott. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It'll be a loss of 1. And just like that, it's third down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. And defensively, it's a nickel formation here on third down and 9. Out of the gun, Romo. And that's caught by Beasley. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Hey, let's go.
On first down, it's Romo. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground.
Hey. Four down.
One man in the backfield, Elliott. And they'll give it to him here. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be third down. So there they went blitz defensively, Charles, and things were paved well coming from the linebacker position.
I love the way that you described it, paved well. Oftentimes, the guy who gets home on the blitz, he's going to get all the credit. But his teammates did all the dirty work, right? They ran into people on purpose. They sometimes tugged on jerseys to hold linemen to create space and gaps. And that play finished off really, really well. Well conceived, well designed, and even better executed. It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And Bailey able to knock it through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front seven. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
Now after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
They'll run with Langford to begin the drive. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. And a look at the defense for the Cowboys.
When at his best, Orlando Scandrick is one of the top nickel cornerbacks in the NFL.
Second down, 8. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They come up in an offset eye. On second down, Cutler. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Randy Gregory in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. And the offense now will try to regroup after the sack on second down. They isolate Jeffrey to the left side. They'll need to get the play off quickly. Now Cutler on 3rd and long. Trying to lay one up deep. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. That's taken on the 25. So a change of possession here on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. They come out here in the eye. Romo hands to Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Second down and 4.
Cut in left. Cut in left. We got 3, fellas. Let's go.
Here's Romo now on second down. Out left side here to Bryant. It'll go as a gain of 12. And it'll be 1st down, Cowboys.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Tight, watch left. Tight, watch left. 4 down.
Romo gives to Elliott. And a short gain here down to the 22. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on 2nd down.
3 down. Under. Wait in. Mike's 50.
Play action. It's Romo. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he's brought down. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
Love the call by the offensive coordinator, recognizing the situation very well, calling for the play-action pass, and completing it.
Double tight, guys. Double tight. Hey, we got 3 down.
One man in the backfield, Elliott.
Check 59. Mike is 59. Mike to 59.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. And, Charles, when you catch that toss going right or left, really, but right in this instance, do you go straight for the pylon? Is that where you're going?
Well, typically you want to try and maneuver people a little bit so you have some space to get to the pylon. So I want to make sure I try and move them a little bit to the inside, and in this case to the left, so I can get to the right side and get to that pylon and wink at it as I go by.
He's got it, and it's 17-0. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
On 1st and 10, it's Cutler. He completes it right side to White. And he's able to get up here to the 26. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 2nd down. Partner, nothing complicated here. This is just a pretty simple drag route.
You're exactly right, Brandon. Instead of throwing it downfield, they just throw it underneath and let the receiver do the work.
Now Cutler to throw on 2nd. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. It's the rookie from Notre Dame, Jalen Smith, in there to bring him down, and it'll be a play to remember for that young man. The first sack of his NFL career. 2nd down, sack by the defense. What type of pressure will they bring here on 3rd? We'll see. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Now Cutler looking to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Losing 6 yards there to bring up 4th.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Here's Pat O'Donnell now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And taken right on the 30. Might have been 1 man away from 6 points. As it stands, it's a huge return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. They come up in an offset eye. Now it's the Florida Atlantic alum. This is Alfred Morris. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result, because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move to influence the defensive front to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him, sat there waiting for him and made the play.
stay on the ground, but this time it's Elliott. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Danny Trevathan there to bring him down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Throwing on third down, Romo. He hits Beasley right side. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. So a good kick there, and they wrap up the drive by putting 3 on the board.
And you know, let's face it, you're not always going to come away with 6. Defense in the NFL are just too good. But you've got to come away with something. And there, they get 3.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Onto the field now come the Bears. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. And the offense behind the chains here, a touch on 2nd and 11. They isolate Jeffrey to the left side. On 2nd down, here's Cutler. He's got that one complete to Eddie Royal. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
First down, it's Cutler. And the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. Give him 16 on the pickup, and that leads to a Chicago first down. Alshon Jeffrey so dangerous even when a defender's near him.
He's got such a big body, ability to run, positions himself well, excellent control. And you're exactly right. Even if people are draped on him, he often comes up with the catch. He really symbolizes what people are looking for in receivers in today's NFL.
They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be a second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Throwing again, it's Cutler. On the left side, a catch by White. And he's brought down after a good gain. We heard them talk before the game about utilizing the intermediate passing game this week. It works for them there. They move the chains.
And we saw them work on it in practice as well. And most teams take a period at a time to work on different things. They put a couple of periods of work into the intermediate passing game, and now we know exactly why. They got the look that they were seeking, and they were able to take advantage of it. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now it's Cutler. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Now Cutler on first down. Pressure up the middle, and And down he goes. Jalen Smith in there to record the second sack of his young NFL career. And they're going to go soft on the corners. On second down, Cutler. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
They isolate Jeffrey to the left side. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now Cutler on 3rd and long. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now 4th down.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes...
And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here's Connor Barth for the field goal try. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And Barth puts it through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a field goal here. They're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Yardage here. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
Whenever I go to a team's practice facility and watch them work, I love to watch the defensive guys in what they call pursuit drills. The ball goes either towards them or away from them. How fast will they respond? On this play, the defensive end responded better than anyone and made a really nice play.
All right, Larry, indeed a one-sided affair to this point as we get set for half 2. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. Fighting him off.
Just ran right through the trash.
And he'll probably wish he reconsidered here. It'll cost him 10 yards now with a new rule as he's down at the 15-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Here's Cutler to throw. He completes it right side to White. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll bring up second down. So we've got a 2nd and 5. Cutler to Langford on the draw. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
He'll try to run for the first with Langford. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Second down to the offense, needing 5 yards. Here comes the D swarming to the line. On second down, here's Romo. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Five yards to gain here on 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Romo going right side. He has Winton, and he will have the first down as he's up to his 17-yard line.
And another reception by Jason Witten. All reliable for Tony Romo. You know what they say, partner. Once you get your first 1,000 catches, it's all gravy after that.
Yeah, one of 2 tight ends. He and Tony Gonzalez in the 1,000-catch club in the tight end department.
Get ready.
A give to Elliott. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That play almost seemed like a baseball play. See ball, hit ball. But in this case, see guy with ball, tackle guy with ball.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's 2nd down. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Here's Romo now on 2nd down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's brought down after a good gain. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Give him 7 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
3 yards remaining here on second down. Now back to the ground with Elliott. Room here to run. And he's brought down after a good gain. A big pickup there on the run. 30 yards.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that. But a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tacky area on the glove. In fact, there was none. I actually remember in cold weather games wearing the old scuba gloves, which you'd wear in the diving, but they would split too easily in the course of a game. Then the glove manufacturers got smart and started adding to it, and here we are today. 1st down and goal to go from the 7. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. One of the beauties of a 3-4 defense is that you have flexibility with your linebackers, and you can put them in different spots. But one of the downsides is an offensive team that's committed to running the football, you can get your big offensive linemen up on linebackers quicker, and that usually gives you an advantage in running it. Now this will be the 9th play on this drive. To throw on 2nd down. Now Romo hit, and he loses the football. He had it jarred out. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away. You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive. Poor punter. Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going. I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half. Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. On 1st and 10, it's Cutler. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Normally, he's pretty reliable. He usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it. Second down here after the incomplete pass. This is Langford. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Look, the 1st down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it. And, boy, the reward was there. A big, big pickup. And guess what? It's now third and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
And on third down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. Cutler now to throw on third down. And he's got Miller. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
He went full scale, loose, flexible, finding a way to catch the ball in some traffic for a key first down.
Yeah, really a nice job of adjusting to the ball in the air. Not the most accurate of throws, but able to adjust and make the grab.
We got three. Check three.
This is Langford on 1st and 10. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Back now here on EA Sports. It's Bears football, but they trail on the scoreboard as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On 2nd down, here's Cutler. Over the middle here to Wilson. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
Well, there really wasn't much there, but a completion is a completion. A tough 3rd down awaits them.
And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here.
It's caught by Royal. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
It's interesting how we label routes. You know, some people might call this a hitch. For me, a hitch is a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, about 1 to 3 yards deep. A lot of people might call this a dig route, going this deep on a 3rd and 7 to pick up the first down. Others just call it a stick route. Get to the right point, stick in that spot, and let them hit you with a pass. No matter what, they did pick up the first down.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And the 8th play on this drive coming up. They isolate Jeffrey to the left side. They'll throw on first down with Cutler. It's grabbed over the middle by White. 11 yards on the pickup, and the Bears are going to get a first.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They come out here in the eye. From the red zone now, here's Cutler on first down. This will be caught just inside the 10. Call it a pickup of 7, and it's a 2nd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
On 2nd down, Langford. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
Well, as the play call comes in on 3rd down, you have to think about 4-down territory here. Down a few touchdowns, they need points, and they need big points.
Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. So a defensive brain lapse there and an encroachment penalty.
Sometimes when you don't watch the football and make sure that it's snapped, you're watching the offensive player, and they can influence you occasionally and look like they're getting ready to move, and the officials don't detect it.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. They go play action here on first down. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. A First-time Pro Bowler in 2015, Sean Lee. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. Now Cutler to throw on second down. And his throw here's incomplete. Eddie Royal is intended target. And that is going to set up 3rd and goal.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
On 3rd and goal, Cutler. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Here we go. It's Cutler on 4th down. And this is incomplete. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt. And the Cowboys defense is going to get them the football back. And now here come the Cowboys. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, given them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why there are points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And some room to work. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40.
Well, partner, I have to say they caught him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. So it'll be first down here after the run. One back is Morris. He's going to get the football. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Eight yards to go here on 2nd down.
Watch tight end. Key him. Key the tight end.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Morris. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
It's not always as straight as that team wanted it more than the other, but on that play, it actually was true. They were faster to the ball.
Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. Yet again, here's a wildcat look.
Come on, let's go. Red 38. Red 38.
And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed, and that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. It's away, and it's a high kick here, but not high enough to hit the scoreboard here in Dallas. 31 yards on the punt there. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really, at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now, as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
The lone setback is Langford. On 2nd down, Cutler. He completes it right side to White. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. Give him 8 on the play, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
And they're just sort of going through a really tough stretch here right now, Charles. They can't seem to get back in the win column.
They have to keep their heads up, get back to their fundamentals, and just play the football they know they're capable of. Don't try and do everything perfect, but also don't just let down and let the season get away from them.
So for Dallas, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for Chicago, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll get a home date next week against the Detroit Lions. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com.